Hello, welcome to the Soccerlens Show. I'm Andy Brassell. Now, there's only one thing we could be looking back at today, and that's the World Cup draw. We've had the weekend to reflect on it now. There's so much to absorb, and for that reason, when I'm making any of my predictions, you notice differences between the predictions I make on the BBC World Football phone-in that you may have heard. That's because I've had the weekend to digest it and I reserve my right to change my mind a little bit. Also, with there being so much to absorb, that's why I've got this piece of paper. I'm not doing an impression of Sean Ryder out of the Happy Mondays on top of the pops. But 32 teams. I've written down as well all the different permutations, not just of who qualify for the groups, but who I think might go on to do well in the later stages, and who might eventually lift the trophy on July the 11th in the final at Johannesburg. So we've got to start with Group A, of course, with the hosts, South Africa, as the seeds in that. Now we have South Africa, Mexico, Uruguay and France, fairly open, although South Africa have had some changes at the top with Carlos Alberto Pereira coming back to be manager after a ropey little spell before and after the Confederations Cup. Now it looks like they could be in danger, South Africa, as they're not in the best shape of being the first host nation in living memory not to qualify. A bit like in the Euro 2008 Championships, when neither Austria or Switzerland, the co-hosts, qualified, and that put a bit of a dampener on the performances. So really, for the health of the tournament, it would be good if South Africa could find the improvement necessary to go through. However, I've not gone for them in my top two. I've gone for France and Uruguay. Of course, France not in great shape at the moment, as we saw in the playoff with Ireland. Uruguay also needing a playoff to go through after finishing fifth in the South American group. So no guarantees there. But I feel France have enough talent in the squad that they can maybe turn it around in the next 7 months. Of course, all these predictions and any prognostics we have to take with a pinch of salt, because there's 7 months to go and so much can change with a star player getting injured or someone new and unexpected coming through from nowhere, like say Franck Ribéry did in 2006 for the French, for example. Now, if we go on to Group B, we have Argentina, Nigeria, South Korea and Greece. Again, Greece coming through playoff very impressively against the Ukraine, but they're not in my top two either. I've got Argentina and Nigeria. Argentina, because I feel that Diego Maradona must have learned some lessons from the difficult qualifying campaign, although it will be tough, as a lot of people have pointed out, for him to pick just 22 players after using over 70 in the World Cup qualifying campaign. I feel Nigeria have enough attacking power. Again, they qualified at the last minute to go through too. Now, Group C, of course, England in that, the USA, Slovenia and Algeria. Now, contrary to popular belief, I don't think there are any pushovers in this. Algeria showed the real character they have in winning their playoff in Khartoum in really volatile circumstances against Egypt, traditionally one of Africa's, if not Africa's, best team over the last couple of years. So I think they'll have something to offer in that. Also, Slovenia were excellent in coming through their two-leg playoff with Russia, and they already have World Cup experience and European Championship experience, being there in 2000, of course, so that's not to be sniffed at. Of course, England and USA are the favourites, and I take those two to go through, although I feel their opening match between those two countries will set the tone for the group. A point for the USA would leave them set fair for the rest of the group. Of course, that would be pretty much a disaster for England. Certainly the English media would feel that way. But I think that will have a lot of influence on how the group goes, and depending on how it does, may give an opportunity for either Algeria or Slovenia to nip in. Now, Group D, we have Germany, Australia, Serbia and Ghana. Now, a lot of people have talked about a certain other group, which we'll be coming to in a bit, being the closest group and the most competitive group of the opening stages of the tournament. I believe there will be none more competitive than this one. All the teams have a fair chance. I've gone personally for Germany and Ghana. Germany because of their overall quality, Ghana because I feel they have the physical power that will push them above, say, Serbia, and maybe the quality that will push them above Australia. Of course, we're all hoping Stephen Appiah can make a good comeback. Bad news for him at the weekend, set to make his debut for Bologna, but a bit of a knee twinge again. I think maybe they're taking it carefully for him, so he'll be out for the next month, but they are hopeful that he'll be able to come back for the African Cup of Nations. But they have players in great form elsewhere in the squad, such as Michael Essien and also Asamoah Gyan, who's having an excellent season with Rennes. Now, Group E, we have Netherlands, Denmark, Japan and Cameroon. I've gone for Netherlands and Cameroon. Cameroon, of course, because they have a great attacking power in the shape of Samuel Eto'o, really strong midfield with Stefan Mbia, Jean-Du Makun as well. I think the Netherlands have got good quality, but just as they were flattered with a poor qualifying group, I think here they will get away in the group stages with having a bit of a ropey defence, not something I really like the look of, pretty much the same defence they had in Euro 2008. I think that may find them out in the later stages, but they'll be fine for the groups. Now F, we've got Italy, Paraguay, New Zealand and Slovakia. Now I think there are a few players here who could really catch the eye and be stars of the World Cup. Paraguay's Oscar Cardoso, who's been an excellent goal scoring form for Benfica, knocking them in for fun this season. And he should be someone to watch at the World Cup. Good in the air, fantastic left foot, really good set pieces too. And the captain of Slovakia, Marek Hamsik, who's been outstanding for Napoli over the last couple of years, I feel he will be one of the real surprise stars of the World Cup, or surprise for people who don't follow European football that closely. And I think a big move could be on the cards for him after the World Cup. Slovakia, I feel, could be an interesting outside bet maybe for the latter stages of the World Cup, who knows. I feel them and Italy will go through. Now, the one we've all been waiting for, Brazil, North Korea, Cote d'Ivoire and Portugal in Group G. Now, the Portuguese have improved so much over the last 6 months or so, tightening up at the back and getting themselves from a seemingly impossible position to qualify for the World Cup. Still, I've gone for Brazil and Cote d'Ivoire. Brazil, I feel, have to be one of the favourites anyway. We'll come to them again later because I feel they will be heavily involved in the latter stages. And Cote d'Ivoire, great attacking power, which I think will give Didier Drogba's men the edge over Portugal. Group H, finally, Spain, Switzerland, Honduras and Chile. Now, I've gone for Spain and Switzerland. Spain, of course, possibly Europe's best prospect of winning the trophy outside the continent for the first time ever, the reigning European champions. Switzerland, of course, got to the last 16 and within a penalty shootout of the quarter-finals in the 2006 World Cup. They actually exited the 2006 World Cup without even conceding a goal. I think that shows the resilience they've got, and they show the resilience they have as well in the qualifying campaign, losing their first game, a shot loss at home to Luxembourg before Otmar Hitzfeld's men turned it round. So I feel they could get through to the last 16 at least. Going on, I have England beating France, Brazil beating the Netherlands, Argentina beating Germany and Spain beating Italy in the quarter-finals. Brazil beating Brazil beating England and Spain beating Argentina in the semis, with Brazil beating Spain in the semi-finals. Of course, so many imponderables and things that could go wrong. I'm sure there'll be a few shocks along the way. For the moment, I've gone for that, as I feel Brazil and Spain are the two best sides in the world, and Brazil are just so incredibly solid and strong. I feel that may give them the edge come the end. But of course, if you look at the way the fixtures pan out after the group stages and who plays who, you can have a little go yourself. Go on any site where they've got the format of the World Cup, to get a pen and paper, jot down your predictions and tell us what you think at the bottom of this article here. Leave your responses. We'd be delighted to see what your ideas are. I'm sure there'll be loads of different responses to that. Now, of course, we haven't had time to review the weekend's European club action. I'll be doing that in the next day or two on my own site at www.allornothingtv.net, so have a look at that. You can also hit me with any questions, queries, points you'd like to make on Twitter, twitter.com/Andy Brassell. Enjoy the Champions League stuff this week, and we'll see you next week.